And welcome back to Let's Play Super Mario Galaxy. Last time we completed the Matter Splatter Galaxy as we entered the... What was the name of this place? The garden? Yeah, the garden. So this time we are heading back to the garden to enter the Deep Dark Galaxy. Now, something to note is... we need a lot of star bits. We need a lot of star bits for this. Grand total right now of 2,800, I think? If you don't have enough star bits, that's fine, because there's actually a really easy farming method, but I just wanted to make note of the fact that you will want to actually keep in mind that you actually need a ton of star bits, and the more you collect in the field, the less you have to farm for them later on. So I would highly recommend getting as many star bits as you can, just in normal levels before you decide to go out of your way for them. Now, instinct is calling when it comes to seeing shiny treasure chests under the water. So I'm gonna grab this and open this treasure chest up over here in order to see what's inside. Now, this is actually something I find fascinating about when I play video games compared to when other people play video games. When I play a video game, ironically, it's like this main character that I'm least focused on. That sounds really backwards, but that actually is true. For me, I tend to actually focus on the environment a lot more, which, you know, has pros and cons, obviously. You need to have a good balance, though. You can't just be completely tunnel visioned in on something, but you also can't be completely, like, zoned out and just focusing on everything else, other than your main character, because that's also not good, so I need to work on that. I tend to play games with too much of an emphasis on the peripheral, basically, is what I'm saying, instead of the, like, what's right in front of me, which is Mario. Again, there's nothing wrong with that. It's just a different way to play a video game, basically. So, here... we don't go to the planet I thought we would. Never mind, I was gonna talk about another galaxy I saw, but we don't go there yet. So, guess we gotta go do something else for now. I think that's its own star, so it makes sense that we don't do that quite yet. Grab on this, just for fun. So lighting those two, okay, the word for the word for what I think that is something that's easily mispronounced. I don't want to mispronounce it, so I'm just gonna not say the name of it. Once we light the two things, then, we basically get to this next area. We got a blue toad, so yeah, the whole squad is here. Hashtag squad goals. And now we see our first bloopers, actually, believe it or not. This is the first time we've seen these little iconic squids. You know, I had a thought earlier that, in Splatoon... Now, to the people who, if any of the people who I actually was talking about this with actually end up watching the video, then this will be awkward, because this goes up 3 months later. But, I was thinking about Splatoon, because Splatoon 2 is coming out in a week and a half, roughly. And something occurred to me that, mild spoiler, I suppose, for a 15-year-old game, a 2015 game, there are, like, no Inklings. Like, okay, you have the Octarians and you have the Inklings, where one is basically like a humanoid form, and the other is more like, more ammo-like. This is something I find interesting about Splatoon. You don't actually see a similar situation with Inklings, only with the Octolings. And I find it really fascinating, actually, that there's no, like, Inklings. Like, Inktarians, I guess is what they would be. But, yeah, you don't have anything like that. And now we have a repeat boss, so I can keep going on this tangent. So I was just thinking, it's like, would an Inkling Octarian equivalent just be a blooper? Crazy thought, I know. This is the weird sort of lore-based things I think about. I think about game lore a lot. in games that typically, in some cases, don't have lore. I overanalyze trying to find lore in them. Okay, so this boss is pretty straightforward so far. It's pretty much like the last one, except I think instead of going side to side, Bella goes all over the arena by teleporting, so it's a little bit different, and now she teleports up here. This fight on the whole isn't any harder, other than the teleporting, but her teleporting is telegraphed enough that it's really not a problem. I was just getting really bad luck there. Okay. Yeah, it just happened to land on the fire, which was unfortunate. But this shouldn't be that bad. I think only one more hit, if I'm not mistaken. Standing here isn't the worst idea in the world, actually. Yeah, standing on the outer edge is not a bad idea. Yeah, I think about weird video games trivia like that sometimes. But I think there was like a reference to, no wait, never mind, that's something different. Yeah, just weird little thought. People do joke that Mario, well, partly because this was supposed to be a Mario game originally, but a lot of people do joke about Splatoon basically being a Mario game in the shared universe. But yeah, that just never occurred to me that we don't actually see anything equivalent to the Octarians, or the non-Octoling Octarians, for the Inklings, which is actually really weird. Then you have the fact that they have a cat, and they're apparently cloning it. Again, this comes out 3 months after the actual game comes out, so the fact that I'm talking about Splatoon 2 in the future tense is a little bit weird, I fully admit. But again, that's what happens when you record in advance. I'm gonna stop recording in advance eventually, probably when... Actually, here's the thing. If I get a job someday, how much will I have to advance record for that? A lot. So I'm gonna keep advanced recording, and I would prefer doing more like air quotes live Let's Plays, but it's just not really in the cards right now. So if you thought the Gunner, something like that, I don't know. I don't remember this guy's exact name, but if you thought this guy couldn't get any easier, now we're defeating him with no physical contact. We're just lobbing coconuts at him. Insert SpongeBob meme here. It's been so long since I've actually seen SpongeBob, now that I think about it. Let's go over here, if we can. So I want to see what this planet's all about. This planet is interesting from a gameplay standpoint. This is actually a scale model of the Gateway Galaxy's source planet. And we just popped a hole in it. So it starts shrinking. There's a weird bug, I think it's in this version, the small version, not the larger version, where you can actually like crawl into one of the houses. But it's not really intended. Yeah, we're like bigger than the planet at this point. I'm not 100% sure what the implication of having a tiny version of another planet is. It's a little bit weird, actually. Unfortunately, then you have to deal with all the Noctarians, since I've been talking about Splatoon. Have you noticed I'm hyped with Splatoon 2? But again, hyped is a weird way to put it, considering the fact that by this video, Splatoon will already be out, so hyped in reverse. Oh shoot. I almost didn't make that. We get an ice flower for this. Kind of weird. You have to use fire to get ice. But instead of going around the bottom of the chasm, I'm not sure what the term for a watery chasm would be. We basically have to use ice flower to navigate upwards here. Almost ran out there. I actually do think, okay, this is just me completely speculating, but I actually do wonder how many of the enemies in Galaxy 1 were because, I mean, how much of like Splatoon, I guess, going the other way, is because of Galaxy. Because a lot of the level designs feel a little bit like Galaxy. People also note the sort of platformy designs and sort of lack of like big open spaces in Splatoon kind of is reminiscent of Galaxy's design. So that's food for thought. But also, I would also question the fact that I wonder if the Octarians were actually just like the like octopus enemies in this game, basically, when the game started out. Again, knowing that the game started out as a Mario game, I can speculate a lot more, obviously. I could probably just wall jump up there. Well, almost. It was on the upward rotation, so I was at a little bit of a disadvantage with trickery. Did not actually mean to take out that Magic Koopa, but it just worked out that way. So this is interesting timing, because you basically have to jump in midair to get caught in that. So the water jet, you might notice, is actually deactivated, so we have to find a way to activate it. And this is one of the rare appearances of Cheep Cheeps on essentially land. Which is like, how does that work? Like, how do they live? Then again, how do Pokemon live above water? Like, water Pokemon live above water. Like, Goldeen, for example, is like, how does it just float? How does that make any sense? But then again, Pokemon, you really shouldn't question the logic behind Pokemon. Not like that. Oh shoot, I remember what to do. This is actually pretty interesting. You got a watermelon in the center, right? What you have to do is actually ground pound these, if I'm not mistaken, and launch them into the watermelon. And not get electrocuted, in theory. But I did. I took the hit, basically, for that one. Did not care about a damageless run, I just wanted to get this over with. And voila, we have a giant watermelon planet, because that makes sense. Then again, this is a Mario game, what does make sense in it? But that's true, so yeah, you definitely notice the galaxies are becoming a lot more complicated now, but I actually think of the end game, luckily, because this is it. This is actually the strongest set of latter half levels. Like, of the latter 3 domes, in my opinion, this is the strongest set. Because the Dreadnought Galaxy was pretty good, if I remember, and the Deep, what was it called? Deep Dark Galaxy? Deep Dark Galaxy is actually pretty cool too. It's got some pretty interesting levels and concepts. Which is a weird word to use, concepts, but that's actually how I sort of view it. A lot of these levels do use sort of... I mean, the other equivalent word would be gimmick, I suppose, but, to put it a little bit nicer, yeah. Concept is kind of a nice way to put it. But yeah, this level has some interesting mechanics. You know, like with the ground pounding the spheres into the central watermelon, stuff like that's just really cool. And not something you see in every game, so it stands out. So we're redoing this boss again, but Daredevils. So that means we can only take 1 hit, which honestly that's not the easiest thing in the world to do. Specifically the layer phase when you're on that tiny platform. But I also just discovered tricks, so maybe that'll make it easier. Again, for some reason, I never thought to just stand on top of the thing. In all my attempts at playing this fight, just try to dodge all the fireballs in the center. It's like, why did I do that? Just jump on the outer railing. If you aren't too concerned about Star Bits in this level, I would also recommend using Star Bits to actually stun the Magic Koopa, in order to make it easier to defeat them. But yeah, definitely take out the Magic Koopa ASAP, because they're the biggest threat you face in this level. That can stand heat. Oh, do they not let you do that? Okay, you can. It's just a little bit cumbersome for some reason. Probably because of the force field. It's a lot more close than I would have liked. Basically, if the further away you are from the target, the harder it is, or the easier it is for them to hit you. That's my view at least. So that's why I basically was like, okay, that's really, really too close. Now, fun fact, I actually don't remember the last 2 stars in this galaxy. There's one secret one. I know that for a fact. I just don't know what it is. But hey, I got another one in the Daredevil galaxy, so that is 90. So 30 more to go. I think our stars are averaging more like 3 an episode at this point, rather than the usual 4 an episode, 4 or 5 an episode. But yeah, these stars are pretty lengthy. It is kind of a problem I have with this game, that the end game just has really lengthy levels. Not from the standpoint of it's bad, it's from the standpoint of it's just harder to just... It's harder to let's play, to put it bluntly. It's hard to just hammer out a bunch of levels when you basically have so many different, really lengthy objectives. That's basically it, in my opinion. No, terrible thing, especially on a casual playthrough, in my opinion. Longer levels don't equal bad, unless they feel like padding, which, for some reason, LEGO Star Wars is actually the first game to come to mind. LEGO Star Wars 1, I think, is actually the tighter game. LEGO Star Wars 2 has super long levels, to the point where they're kind of difficult to play through, and I don't think those games even have the like save and quit feature out of levels when you're trying to go for 100% either. What? You again? You gotta be kidding me. You want to run me out of this lake? You gotta get through all 8 rings. Well, this feels familiar, doesn't it? I don't know if we get a shell on this one. I don't think we need it, though, that's the other argument. I think a shell would actually throw us off, if I had to make a guess. Because he's going so slow that, like, actually having a shell might make you lose control. So I'm actually just gonna tough it out without a shell, believe it or not. I think these rings are actually timed as well. I'm not 100% sure on that, but I'm pretty sure they're timed, hence why there's actually any challenge to this. But I really like this galaxy as a whole. There aren't any like stars that I would consider bad, which is more than I can say for some. Mainly Toy Time. Mostly just because of the spring mushroom, which only comes back for 1 star luckily. And it's a pretty low stakes star too, so yeah, we will see the spring mushroom 1 more time, but it's luckily in a level that's not too terrible. Fish of my word. So we did manage to get 4. So that means... I'm trying to think. Yeah, I'm trying to do math in my head, so like... I actually... something else I should address is the fact that I did say something about there being like purple coin stars in a lot of galaxies, like most of them. That's really not true. It's only really the main ones that have purple coins. I think, yeah, just really the main galaxies. And I think Dreadnought's actually one of the worst purple coins, from what I recall. If it does have purple coins, I might be confusing it with Battle Rock. But in any case, we will get the last star next time before starting the Dreadnought Galaxy. So thank you for watching, and I hope you join me next time for more Super Mario Galaxy.